Hey Mindset Community, Dr. Ellen here, coming to you today with your next workout. All right, this week we've talked about perspective, and one of the things that can give you perspective very quickly is failure. And a lot of times it is something we're really uncomfortable with. However, it can be your absolute best teacher. So this week we've done that time under tension, which can really isolate out some difficulties that you might have in control and strength. It is not a matter of failure. It's a matter of learning those areas that you have to work on. Yesterday in the mobility section, you may have noticed some things that were even difficult there. And it wasn't a strength issue, it was a mobility issue or a stability issue or a balance issue. But those things, maybe you didn't do them well yesterday or the day before, but they're teaching you what you need to work on. And it's also, our programming is giving you strategies to work on those things. So when you realize there's a deficit or a difficulty or a point of failure, and I use that term kind of loosely, a point of learning, that's the time to actually double down and work on those skills. So today, you might encounter some points that are difficult and require some form of a failure. And that's okay. Do the best you can. We're going to resume our time under tension series under the workout section. We've got some preparation to do before we get there. But today's going to be on the shoulders and the upper back. So what I really want you to pay attention to is the contraction of your upper back and your shoulder blades coming together, but not coming upwards towards the head and neck. So your challenge today is to complete these tasks without increasing tension in your neck and head. Okay, so that's your focus as much as you can, keeping shoulders down and working on your technique. All right, so things we're gonna need today, we're gonna need a little bit of space on the floor. I would grab a towel. You're gonna need some weights, right? We talked about this under the time under tension sections in Monday and Tuesday of this week. Grab weights. You can put them in a towel, in a backpack, things like that, or even just a bag from your local grocery store. Especially if it's a cloth bag, a reusable grocery bag, those can be really, really useful right now. They're usually easy to hold on to. The other thing you're gonna need is a little bit of a stick. So this is where we're gonna begin, is working on shoulder mobility. Again, we're gonna get into some time under tension utilizing the upper extremities, so we need to make sure they're ready. So start with mobility and stability work. Here we go. Start your watches. I'm bad at this. Hoo. All right, so we're grabbing our PVC pipe, starting shoulder width, keeping ribs down, butt cheeks lightly squeezed, and we're lifting overhead. Come back down. Doing it again. And down. Here's 3. We're gonna go to 8. 4. 5. Get my feet right and ready. 6, 7, and 8. Good. Make them a little wider. Go as far back as you can. Get that nice stretch in the front of your chest and in your shoulders. Only go in a pain-free range. Really work on not taking any range of motion from your spine. We want to do just what's within the shoulder. So as your hands begin to extend backwards and over your head potentially, make sure you're not arching and letting the ribs flare upward. I think we got 3 more, 4 more, somewhere in there. Let's do 2 more. Get that nice stretch and opening. Remember, pain-free. Now I want you to go as wide as you comfortably can on whatever object you have. Most of you should be able to go all the way around. And this is about keeping shoulder health here. You may hear some snaps and pops, especially if your joint surfaces aren't as smooth as they used to be. But as you get greater strength and stability, we'd like that audible nature of the joint to quiet some. The shoulder's a toughie though, I won't lie. It's a very shallow joint, so much of its stability comes from the muscles. It doesn't come from the ligaments as much, and it doesn't come from the joint. So therefore, we need to be nice and strong and stable in there. Hands behind the head. You're going to try to keep the elbows pointed toward the ground as you slide those hands in and out. Keep going. Feel that pull in the bicep, a little bit of warmth starting in the shoulders. Should not be excessive, should be very comfortable. We're going to do 8 more starting now. 1, keep the tension out of your neck. 2, if you can't do that, just stop. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Should be nice and warm in those shoulders now. Okay, bring this down. We're going to do our swirls around the top. So one arm's going up, and the other one will follow, making this really, really fancy kind of figure 8 pattern. Very good. Now go the other way. Good. We've only done this a few times, and I've heard from people in the coaching meeting that this can be one of the hardest parts of the sessions, is coordinating this movement. And that's okay. It takes some time and some practice. All right. Back down, we're going to go to just in that kind of semi-wide position, and we're going to go to our scoops. So hip hinge, allowing the bar or stick to drop down the front of your legs, go down as far as your hamstrings will allow. Keeping the back straight, you're going to reach forward and go behind the head. Scoop down, out, and behind. Again, down, out, and behind. Keep going. We're going down, out, behind. Let's go 3 more. Hip hinge down, out, behind. 2 more. Really feel those hamstrings take the load and begin to open. Good. So our shoulders, everybody should be nice and toasty. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put this aside and head down onto the floor for some weight bearing and some stability work. So the first thing we're going to do is actually a preview of one of the exercises we're going to do in the time under tension. So on hands and knees, get the shoulders underneath the shoulders over your wrists and knees underneath hips. We're going to actually put one hand, it needs to be off of the floor. I like to rest it on my low back, but if you can't get here pain-free, don't put it there. You can even just cross it along your chest. That would be fine as well. And so in this position, you're going to keep the elbow straight of your down hand and let your shoulder blade and chest come down. Then you're going to press upward, just focusing on the shoulder blade and the upper back. Really pushing this away from you to lift the chest. But keep the weight through that arm. Don't lean back. That makes it a totally different exercise. Drop the body and lift. Slow and controlled. You got 5 more. Here's 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Good. Switch sides. I'm going to show you from this angle now. So again, shoulder is over my wrist. We let our body sag, keeping the elbow straight. Press it away. Body sags, push it away. Good, just like that. We got 5 more. Slow and controlled. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Very good, everybody. Drop back into downward dog, prayer stretch. Good, pushing those biceps, that upper arm down toward the floor. Good. Now, coming back to hands and knees. We're going to do a little bit of our flow. So I want you to take a nice inhale. Exhale to lift the knees. Inhale to big bear. Exhale to little bear. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Keep going. We're going to inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. Drop the knees. Bring one hand behind your back. We're going to do that serratus press again. Drop the body. Push the hand away. A little faster this time. We're going to 10. Here we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other arm. Let it sink. Elbow stay straight. Here we go. We're pressing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Tuck the toes, flow to little bear. Inhale to big bear. Exhale to little bear. Inhale, big bear. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Last one, exhale down. All the way before you let your legs drop. Good. Our body should be nice and toasty, ready to work. All right, so now we're gonna do our time under tension series. So this involves 1 minute, 1 minute of very slow movement, followed by 30 seconds of dynamic work. So the slow movements today, we have 4 of them. The first one is a push-up. You can do this on the wall. You can do it on an inclined surface, like a chair or an ottoman or a dresser. You can also do it on the floor. If you're gonna do it on the floor and you're gonna do it on your knees, you need to make sure your glutes are squeezed and your hips are tucked. That is true also if you are on your toes. Make sure your core is stable. Remember that spine first rule. We need to prioritize the spine before we begin any load. So push-up is the first section of slow movements. The second one is the body pullovers, which we've done before, where you're gonna anchor your hands on something above you. If you can't do that, then I'm gonna show you another version here in a minute when we're on the floor. The next version is the tripod or plank serratus press. So what we just did is the tripod version, and you can also do that in a full plank if you're comfortable. You really have to have rotational control and shoulder stability to do it, but some of you are able to. You don't have to also do the serratus press on the floor in a plank. You can do it on a raised surface as well. You just need to make sure that your shoulder is above your wrist. Okay, it can't be out in front. It needs to be right underneath. So whatever surface you're gonna do, whether it's an incline or the floor in a plank or a tripod, you need to make sure that that is a good angle. You'll be doing that for a minute, super slow on one arm. We'll do our dynamic movement, and then we'll come back and do it on the other side. And then lastly, we're gonna do a row with external rotation. So now that we've talked about them, let's break those movements down. So we talked about the push-up. You can do that on the wall. You can do that on an inclined surface like a chair. You can also do that on the ground. But if you are going to do it on the ground, whether you are on your knees or your toes, I need you to make sure that you are squeezing your butt and tucking as if your pelvis as if you had a tail. That's going to require greater core stability, but then we prioritize and protect our spine. Okay, so that's for the push-up. The next one is our body pullovers. And so on this exercise, the one we did before, you can do it here in this position where you anchor your arms and you want to pull down with your elbows as if you were going to be doing that movement right there. So in this position, you're going to start at 90 degrees or so and pull down with your elbows, and you'll find by pulling down with the elbows that brings your thighs towards your elbows. Okay, so that's the pullover. If you can't do that one, which is totally okay, you can actually do this on the floor on your elbows by trying to pull your body upward by driving your elbows underneath you. If you've got a slider, you can even do that on a towel where you get a little bit more range of motion. Okay? The other option there, if you want to, you can just plank. You don't even have to get complicated and add the motion if you don't want to. Then we've got our tripod or plank serratus presses. It's this motion right here. Okay? You can do that in the tripod. You can also do it in a plank. Okay, but remember, if you're going to do the plank version, you have to have good stability and control because it's super, super duper duper slow for a minute. All right, the last one is a row with external rotation. We did this the other day with weights, and we did a row and then the flare out. If you don't have weights, you can also anchor these in a towel, like so. In this motion, and we twisted it so that my weights are inside that towel. So if you do this, a little bit tighter here, we're gonna row and flare out. Row, move the hands apart, okay? Now, our dynamic movement that's between all that, if you're gonna do this correctly, you need to make sure your palms are facing forward. And so as if I'm holding something like a cup of coffee or a can of sorts, okay? And this is our face pulls, like so. So from the side, trying to basically pull this in a vertical fashion right up to my face and ending to the point where my forearms are horizontal or my hands are slightly above the plane of my elbow, okay? So we'll do a minute of the slow, then 30 seconds of fast face pulls. And then we'll go to the next difficult arm movement, back to face pulls. And we'll alternate between the two. We're gonna shoot for 2 rounds, okay? So now that you know what we're gonna do, hopefully you're all set up, we're gonna begin right off the bat with push-ups. Okay, a minute, super duper slowly. Okay, crazy slowly. Oops, let's pause it, just make sure we got enough volume on here. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. There we go. There's your timer. Start your slow push-up. I'm going to join you. Super duper 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 slow. Okay? I'm going to show you this knee position. And you might find you collapse. right? And then try to get up. In that super duper slow fashion. You're gonna find that bottom of the range is really hard to control. Oh yeah. Do you like this one? I hate it. Okay, here we go, guys. Super duper slowly. Good. Face pulls. Get right into it. We're going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit it. Squeeze with that upper back. Get some movement going here. After this, we have our body pullovers. Squeeze that upper back. Make those scapula come together. But keep that tension out of your neck. Good. Body pullovers, let's go. Super slow. Super slow. Grabbing the wrong thing. Super slowly. Really pulling those elbows down towards your chest. Keep breathing. We're almost done. Remember, shooting for 2 to 4 repetitions each minute. Good job. Face pulls. We're going right into it. 3, 2, 1. No rest. Come on. Pull those shoulder blades back together. Feel the burn. 15 seconds. So now, sometimes I get optimistic. After this, we have our serratus presses. Either on hands and knees or in your plank. So drop right down to it. Shoulder over hand. Oops, sorry, this is super slow. Super slow. So if somebody walks by you, they should barely even be able to tell that you're moving. Super slow. Can you even tell that I'm moving? I promise I am. 10 seconds. After this, we got 30 seconds of fast face pulls, and we're back right in this position. Okay. Here we go. 30 seconds face pulls. Make sure those thumbs are pointing upward. Here we go. Go. Keep that tension out of your neck, right? If you can, tuck that chin in. Take out all the wrinkles on the back side of your neck. Two more seconds. Woo! All right. Tripod serratus work on the other side. Super slow. After this, We've got face pulls and rows with external rotation, then face pulls and we get a break. Good job, everybody. Go for that control. Whew. The slower, the better. Just keep gently inching the motion forward and keep going. 30 seconds. Face pulls. Let's do this. Go! Great, guys. Pinch that shoulder blade, or shoulder blades, excuse me, 15 seconds. Squeeze them. And we're on fire. After this, we're doing your row with that little bit of a hand flare, which takes you into external rotation. Good. Here we go, right into it. Super slow rows. Fan the hands out. If you want to keep and hold the row where you are and just work the hands, that is the more difficult version. But if you need to release the row, to release the tension, go ahead and do that. But remember, the purpose is we want as much time under tension as we can. After the next face pulls, we get a good 2-minute break. Here we go. Good, face pulls are next. When you're wrapping, if you've got your weights and you're wrapping them back up, make sure they're nice and secure so they don't drop on your foot. Here we go, 3, 2, 1, let's go. And you might need to stand up to rest your back. I don't know if anybody's feeling that yet, but if you feel it in your back, really draw that tension down into your hamstrings and your glute. Literally contract them. Take that pressure down, but your back is acting as a stabilizer here. So it wouldn't be shocking if it was a little bit tired. Good. Rest. Oh, very nice job. So I want you right now, grab some water, or maybe even just sit and let your arms be dead weight, okay? But our goal is to get you a solid 1.5 to 2 minutes of just off time. You may even notice your heart is beating, okay? And that would be normal because you're adding load and resistance. So if you came away with this and you felt like this was too easy, then you weren't either A, moving slowly enough, or B, you didn't have enough resistance, okay? And so then that means, okay, so what, you were on the other end of the spectrum, maybe you didn't get toward that failure mark, right? Maybe you were too low on the other end. But either way, you learned where you are. So now, we've got a whole nother round, don't mind that, we've got a whole nother round for you to practice, right? So go get anything you need to make any modifications. Again, this should not be painful. I'm okay with hard, but I'm not okay with hurting. So right now, my arms, they're nice and kind of just warm. I can definitely tell I worked them, but it's not in a bad way. It's in a nice muscle way. I don't have pain in the joints. I just have a nice warmth in the muscles. But this is also something that I've done before, so it's very familiar to me. All right, we have about 20 seconds on the clock. So get anything else you need, but we're gonna start again with our time under tension. We're gonna begin in the push-up. I'm gonna show a different version this time. I'm gonna bring in a step so that I can show you what it looks like for the push-up. as well as for the tripod plank serratus work. I'll show you that version on there. And then if you need to add weight or decrease weight, it is up to you based on how you tolerated round 1. But remember, if you've gotten a moderate level of fatigue, I recommend staying where you are. If it's severe and borderline technical issues, meaning you are not able to keep your form, then you want to drop weight slightly. If it was too easy, you didn't really feel a burn, you don't even have much of a difficulty level here, add weight, all right? So meet me in the push-up. So I've got my base here. In 2 seconds, we're gonna go. Here we go, 1 minute. 1 minute on the clock, super slowly. Again, you can do this on the wall. You can do this on an inclined surface. And if this is too hard, by the way, bring your feet in and do it that way. And you don't have to go all the way down. Do the range in which you can control. So it might look just like that. What's wrong with that? Nothing. You do what you can. So even if it's a small range of motion, do you still have time under tension in this one? Absolutely. And it's actually quite hard. There's quite a bit of weight through your arms during this, right? You can't distribute it as much to your legs. Good, face pulls. Here we go, 5 seconds. Make this one more dynamic. Make it more acceleration. Here we go, go. Good, bring that towel right up to your face. Squeeze those shoulder blades. 12 seconds. Good job. This is the body pullover next. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Squeeze. Good. Body pullovers. Go right to it. Super slow. Keep the elbows pulling down to your legs. Pull, pull, pull. Keep that tension on those arms the whole time. Pull. Pull, 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 pull. Super slowly. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Pull. All right, face pulls. Woohoo! All right. 2, 1, let's go. Remember what I said about keeping tension out of the neck. So if you need a break, to take it so that you don't add tension in your neck. The last thing I want is for you to say, oh man, I had a horrible headache the next day. I'm not interested in that. Nor should you. Nor should you be. Okay? All right, here we go. You've got your serratus presses. Pick an arm. This is what it will look like if you want to do it on an elevated surface. Okay, and then press that shoulder upward, lifting that chest up and through, and we're pushing away from our hand. Good job. 17 seconds, super slowly. Hang in there, everybody. Good. Face pulls. 5 seconds. Hope you're getting tired in a good way. Let's go. Hit it. Thirteen seconds. Squeeze those blades. Here we go. Good. Other hand for the serratus. Go ahead and get right into it. Remember, shoulder over the hand. Really important here. Good. Lean into that hand as best you can. Get that pressure going into the palm so you have something to push against as you raise upward. Good. Keep that control, that tension on. It's tempting to go fast because it's easy. We want to have full control over the entire range of motion you have here. So take your time and feel every fiber contracting, connecting with every single inch or every single millimeter of your range of motion. All right, 30 more seconds, face pulls, and then we're doing our rows with our external rotation. Here we go. Got a bad grip. So face pulls are probably one of my favorite movements if you have full shoulder range of motion, because it is incredibly effective for the shoulder and the shoulder blade, and it's a wonderful way to work those postural muscles we need so much. All right, rows with external rotation. Head to it if you haven't already. Rows and coming out. While you're here, take a note to what my legs look like here. Even though I'm not loading, I'm not doing a lunge, I'm not really squatting, not doing a deadlift, my angles are still the same, right? I still preach that same position. Active feet, they're gripping the floor. I'm creating an arch in my foot. My knees are over or slightly outside of my ankles. Right, we've talked about this a bunch. So if you're standing and you look like this, that would be bad. Go the other way. Feet in, knees out. Good. Face pulls. Okay, here we go. Go! There's 30 seconds on the clock. Here we go. "20 seconds. Face pulls. And then you get to rest. Ah, hallelujah. 9 seconds. Come on, keep going with that face pull. I know it's hard. I know you're tired. Squeeze your blades. 2 seconds. Oh, good job. All right, take a break. Grab some water if you need to. We're gonna cool it on down. So you can stand or you can sit, whatever you'd like on this. But let's stretch out those arms and some nice static stretching, okay? We'll do a little bit of contract and relax worked in here. So the first thing we're gonna do, and again, you can do these standing or sitting. If you're gonna sit, move your knees are slightly apart, okay? You're gonna reach your hands down to the floor, then we're gonna pull all the way up overhead, and then pull down to our sides, okay? So here we go, we're gonna do this big sweeping motion. Down to the floor, reach forward, up, and behind your head. Good, we're gonna do 4 more of those. All the way down to the floor, walk them out forward, Reach up overhead, pull it down right next to your head. 3 more. Down, reach, up, and pull. Open up that chest as wide as you can here. Good, down to the floor for number 2. All the way up and back to the side of your head. Good, one more time. Down to the floor, reach forward, up to the head, and down. Good. Give one arm a nice hug and pull that across your body. This should be a nice gentle stretch across the back side of this arm, but by no means should it be painful. If you're getting a pinch here in the front, lower the arm down and see if you can get the same thing. Good, just breathing here. Inhaling through the belly, right? Exhale, let your stomach passively return. One more breath. And return. Release that stretch. Let's take your other arm, cross it around the front, give that nice hug with the bottom arm so that this one can relax. So how this is working is I'm actually holding the weight of my top arm in the crook of my elbow. This arm is just a lovely little extra pressure. But this top arm should be like a sleeping baby. Very relaxed and open to stretching out the back part of the shoulder. Good. Now we're going to start with both hands out in front. Okay. Again, you can do this standing. It's going to be a little bit more open if you're standing. If you're sitting, you're going to feel this a little bit more intensely. So if this is of interest to the person standing and you want to feel this a little bit more in the thoracic spine, then go ahead and grab a chair. So hands are going to be starting straight. You're going to pull this like a bow and arrow, sliding down the inside of that front arm across the chest and then opening behind you. Bend the elbow and slide it across the chest back toward the front. Other side, slide it down the inside of your forearm across your chest and open. Follow with your eyes. Bend and return. Good, we got 2 more each side. I'm doing the right arm now. Good, these are the slides. Slide into that open position. And then slide all the way back close. One more time each side. Here we go. Return back. One more on your last side. Good, now we're going to do the fan. No sliding or bending of your elbow. Keep it straight and open and close and open. Close. 2 more times each side. Remember, follow the moving hand with your eyes. One more time each way. Good. And good. Wonderful. You can do this again standing or sitting, but I want you to slide both hands down the side of your outside leg, or the outside of a leg. Good. Feel a little bit of a stretch on this inside arm. And come back up. Take both arms again down the other side. Come back up, slide it down the first side. This time, now take that outside arm and reach it to the sky. Good, bring it back down. Hands come back together and up, down the other side. Outside hand floats to the sky. And returns. Good, cross over again. Drop it down. This time, Bend the elbows like so. And drive your body to rotate upward, pushing off of this outside leg. Good, release. Come back, slide down the other side. Bend the elbows to create your stable platform. Press off of this outside of your knee to rotate your body upward. Good, release. Return to upright. We're gonna do that one more time on each side. Slide down the outside, bend the elbows, rotate away and press. Good, release. One more time on the other side. Reach down, open and press. Good. Turn, release, and relax. Great job today. Whew. Hopefully you feel like you got a decent workout, basically from the waist up. We worked a lot of muscles on a lot of tissues, worked a lot on stability, and when those small stabilizing muscles up here in the shoulder get tired, they feel like typically like a deep burn or a deep ache. So as you proceed for the rest of the day and as well into tomorrow, I'll be very interested to hear how you do. So don't forget to update me when we have our meetings. As always, we love you more than you know. I hope you learned something today. Have a good one.